As a 22-year-old adult, I learned a long time ago that not all firearms are created equally. They each have their pros and cons, and I guess they all have their desirable features, but for the most part, you really can't judge one the same as the other, and something will always overshadow the other. Like, for instance, when I was about 10, I picked up this Maverick Nerf gun. It was great. It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots in it, and you could just, pull the slide back and pull the trigger. It's pretty good. And I love this. This is still one of my favorite Nerf guns. It's comfortable to hold. But then, at the age of 20, I found these out. Yeah. One-handed operation. This thing's actually kind of amazing. I love it. Now, it has one less shot, but it's so much easier to handle, and it sends a dart much farther. I love these hammer shots. These are fantastic. Just like with real firearms and airsoft guns, video games have a problem where some guns are hammer shots and some guns are Mavericks. Mavericks aren't inherently bad, but God, who would use this over a hammer shot? Hammer shot's just better. So while I'm sure a lot of you are bored by this Nerf gun talk, maybe my 5 least favorite weapons in Modern Warfare will be more your speed. And that's what we're about to talk about in this video. These of course are all my opinions, not yours. If you have different opinions, make your own damn video about it. I'm sick of hearing about your favorite class setups on weapons I'd rather die than use. Anyway, see you when I see you guys. Enjoy the video. This is just better. Those of you who watch my live streams will see a lot of these choices coming, but that's just a privilege you have by watching me play Call of Duty live. You get to know my opinions before I make long videos about them. But as you can see with the gameplay here, we're starting with the Striker 45, a gun that, in my opinion, was incredibly underwhelming, especially after playing with the Uzi's conversion kit. You see, the Striker 45 fires at the same rate of fire as the Uzi's conversion kit, because for some reason the Uzi's conversion kit fires a little bit faster, according to Exclusive Ace, than the base Uzi. So they both fire at around 620 RPM, but the Uzi, with its conversion kit and the right barrel setup, just has far better range, and in my opinion looks cooler. I really have nothing nice to say about the Striker's appearance. Now, I dislike the Uzi's iron sights as well, but the Strikers are next level ugly for me. And what's funny is that it fires at around 620 rounds per minute, and its maximum magazine count is 45. So that kind of sounds like the AMAX, which fires at around 630 rounds per minute, and also can have a 45 round mag, and can be converted into a carbine or a short barreled, no stock, sort of gun, which I wouldn't recommend, but I would recommend that over the Striker. You get a little bit more fire rate, and you definitely get a lot more range and stopping power. So you have a winner of an SMG when I'm comparing it to assault rifles. And there's so many SMGs in this game that shoot faster, have larger magazines, and other bonuses like the P90's sprint to fire speed can be insane. The MP7's high fire rate and low recoil, or the MP5 of course, the AUG with 9mm, there are so many better options than the Striker. I've had so many people try to convince me that the Striker is good, but I'm sorry guys, it's mediocre at best. Now, there is one good thing the Striker does though. Because it's really bad at head-to-head gunfights, especially against other meta weapons, I find myself playing with a bit more of a stealthy, flanking playstyle. So I guess that's good, but that's no reason to praise a weapon. And then you might be saying, well boom, the hollow point rounds can kill really fast. Yeah, but the hollow point rounds are in such a small magazine, they're limited to either semi-auto or 2-round burst, and if I have to be that precise with such low ammo, why wouldn't I use the MK2, the Kar98, the FAMAS, an FAL, a sniper rifle, a slug shotgun? If I have to be precise with limited ammunition, then I'm not going to go with the Striker, I'm just not. Even if there wasn't a low recoil DPS meta, and there is, this weapon feels inferior to ARs with similar fire rates. It's inferior to the Uzi with its conversion kit. It has a slow rate of fire. It's better to use an AR instead. The conversion kit makes no sense practically, and I overall just don't like its appearance or its iron sights, so the Striker doesn't win any points with me. But that's just my opinion, and we all know that doesn't mean much. Honestly, who am I kidding? Sometimes I like to pretend there's an applause after I speak. Next on the list is the MG34. This gun is really sad for me to talk about. This World War II relic has great killing potential, but every other part of it sucks. Every handling trait, every aesthetic choice on it is terrible. See, it has this gross iron sight that has this little adjustment rail on it. That's what I've heard it called. I don't know if that's its actual name, but who gives a shit. This little adjustment rail, in my opinion, is just an obstruction. I don't like it. It feels like there's a tumor on my gun. And then, this gun just has weird recoil. If I don't use a Merc foregrip, I just feel like the recoil is a little weird, and that takes up an attachment slot. But the thing is, because it burns through ammo so fast and reloads so slow, I feel like I need the 100-round drum mag and sleight of hand, and that's 2 other attachment slots being taken up. Then I always feel like I'm fighting this thing's iron sights, which makes me want to use a red dot, and I always feel like I'm fighting the muzzle flash, so I want to use a suppressor. And then after I put the suppressor, Merc foregrip, and an optic, and sleight of hand, and 100-round mags, it's such a heavy gun, it's too clunky to play even slightly aggressive with. So I start to take the foregrip off, then the recoil is weird, I take the suppressor off and the muzzle flash is annoying, and then I put a tack laser on and I can't really hold an angle with it as much because people will see the laser, and this gun is best when it's mounted. Honestly, this thing would need to have a 200-round drum mag, if that was possible, and needs to reload faster, because the handling traits are too low for how fast it burns through its bullets. Again, that makes its killing potential great, but every other aspect of using this weapon, if I'm not killing you with it, just know that I'm miserable holding it in my hands. And maybe that's dramatic, but in my opinion, this LMG is best mounted, but other LMGs are better for long-range sustained fire. I think the Bruin, the M91, and the PKM are just better for long-range sustained fire. Because of their larger magazines and steadier rates of fire, they just seem better. The MG34 is a World War II era weapon in a modern day shooter, so I kinda like that it's clunky and sorta doesn't feel as modern as the other weapons, but that doesn't really save it from being on my list of weapons I don't enjoy using. I love killing you with this gun, just know this, I love killing you. If you're on the enemy team, I love shooting you with it. I just don't love everything else about it. I know. Judging a gun based on its appearance in a video game is stupid, but so is judging a YouTuber, and you guys keep doing that. The next weapon on the list is the X16. It's not bad. Trust me guys, the X16 is not a bad handgun, but it's awkward. This weapon has weird visual kick that makes it hard for me to track my targets compared to the other handguns. Even the 1911 feels like the upwards recoil makes more sense to me. But the rate of fire just doesn't mesh with my trigger finger personally. It feels like I can get way more consistent and way faster shots off with the M19, the 1911 even, and the Renetti. And when it comes to handguns, the Deagle just hits way harder. I can use this gun, trust me, I'm not terrible with it, I just would rather not. There's other handguns that I just prefer. Primarily the M19. If you guys watch my live streams, you guys see I do pretty well with the M19. There's something about having a 32-round handgun that just meshes with my trigger finger. It's so good. Of course, this is personal opinion. Maybe the X16 fits your trigger finger personally. But look, I can't get it to work. I don't like using it. It's one of my lowest ranked guns in terms of like leveling because I don't use it. I don't see a reason to use it. The M19 is similar enough, but fires faster and has more ammo. I feel confident with a 32-round handgun on my hip. I don't feel confident with the X16. Alright, so the next weapon here is the Strela P. This is sort of an honorable mention because I love this thing. It just needs to have less drop and faster handling traits. The risk completely outweighs the reward, unfortunately. This thing is fun to shoot people with. Here I am in a private match, fighting both of my friends on Euphrates Bridge, and they were not giving me an inch. If they saw me, they would try to kill me. They were using some dumb loadouts in the beginning. Later they started to sweat. Not enough though. I won 61 to 30. I think it was 61 to 39. Yeah, so I beat my friends in a 2v1 on Euphrates Bridge. Hell yeah. But other than that, I might show that footage if you guys want to see it. But other than that, there's a problem with the Strela when it's like, what is the point of this thing? This game has so many powerful sniper rifles and insta-killing weapons, and now shotgun slugs are even buffed, and they can one-shot at crazy ranges now. But the Strela P should just feel like a big shoulder-mounted sniper rifle in my opinion. There is no reason for this thing to have drop, no blast radius, and just an overall excruciating set of handling traits. I mean, honestly, the reload time, the movement speed, it's all bad. It's satisfying and fun to use, but you have to get so accurate with it, and then it drops so much. I would love this thing to be a pocket sniper rifle, but more like a backpack sniper rifle, because it is a launcher. but you only get 2 rockets, it still requires a lot of precision, and if somebody's using EOD, you will not kill them with the blast radius, and you will not reload and hit them again. In its current state, if somebody's using EOD, it hard counters you unless you hit them directly, which is easier said than done. I had to get this gameplay in a private match, and even though my friends were making me earn it, it still felt like this is not an easy weapon to use. And I've made entire videos about the RPG and how easy to use and powerful it is. I don't know why the Strela hasn't gotten a buff. Now, luckily, Amped works with the Strela now. It didn't before, but it's still mind-numbing to use this thing because it would be such a fun precision weapon, but again, the risk just outweighs the reward. You're better off using any other precision weapon if you want to just nail people with something.
Fucking awesome spawn, dude. Fuck the soap comment before. I'm playing something good. Yeah, I'll switch to something good now.
Oh my god.
I'm having fun with it. Oh, I hit marker. God damn it.
This could be a really fun 2-shot, basically heavy 20mm recoilless rifle, sniper rifle, but whatever. It's my honorable mention. And now, the last gun on the list, the SVD. Let me just go over my notes here. Okay, what do I have written down for the SVD? Fuck this gun. Honestly, who wants this shitty, stunted, slow, inconsistent, dumb, stupid, pointless, dumb sniper rifle? That's poetry. Seriously, there are so many better semi-auto rifles that are more versatile and fun. In my opinion, the SKS and EBR come to mind as the far better, far more fun semi-auto choices. Alright? Not to mention, the AMR just got added. Alright, the SVD was already annoying and pointless, but now the AMR comes in. Shoots slightly slower, but packs so much more heat, has so much lower recoil. It's just a better, more fun-filled option. So, to the SVD, suck it. Seriously, if you can land a shot with the SVD, you could have been landing it with the AX50, with the HDR, with the AMR. If you need to land 2 shots, you could have landed those 2 shots with an EBR, an SKS, a Kar98, an MK2. You didn't need to use the SVD. There is not a use case for the SVD. There just isn't. I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to break it to you. There is not a use case for this fucking gun. And I know the community agrees with me, because I never die by this thing. Alright? I never fucking die. The last time I saw an enemy use an SVD in multiplayer, they switched halfway through the game to a fucking Kar98. Okay? I found a player with some morbid curiosity. Despite skill-based matchmaking, I found them trying to use it. They gave up. It's not fun to use. If you can land a shot with the SVD, you can land a shot with a better, more consistent killing sniper rifle or semi-automatic marksman rifle. Do not try to tell me that the SVD is worth using, especially with the AMR now. The AMR is so fun. It has no drop. It just one-shots the fuck out of people. It's my 6.6 sniper rifle of choice. It's my ground war sniper rifle of choice. Honestly, the only reason I'm gonna use the AX50 after the AMR got added is because I have a lot of muscle memory with it and I'm confident with it. Other than that, the AMR is just more fun. And really, that's the end of my list. It's the SVD, the Strela P, the X16, the MG34, and the Striker 45 that I don't enjoy using for one reason or another. Whether it's the appearance, the handling traits, the killing potential, the sort of awkward recoil pattern, or just a general disinterest in the concept. Or, in the case of the Strela, just the risk outweighing the reward. And I think the Strela could be a really good risk and reward 2-shot, powerful, no drop, instant killing gun, which would be kind of fun, but instead, it's like, I guess I'll use the HDR then, instead of the Strela, but the Strela would be fun to use if I could use it like a HDR with only 2 shots. It would be balanced in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, if you're annoyed about the idea of dying by a Strela, then you must hate it when somebody uses an AMR or an HDR, an AX50 on the enemy team, because I'm describing the same thing. It just would be more fun and have an explosive yield, which, yeah, I don't know. I would love to hear your guys' least favorite weapons. Give me 5 guns that you do not enjoy using in Modern Warfare. for various reasons. It could be the sound of the gun, the appearance, the recoil pattern. Let me know, and I will read your comments, I will argue with you. Go ahead and leave them down below. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, making me a part of your free time, and I will see you when I see you. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoy subscribing to things, and good... Bye. Oh, okay, calm down, guys.